Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today for our session on peer-to-peer social fundraising. My name is Cindy Yunin, and I'm the Charity Marketing Manager at CanadaHelps. For those of you that aren't familiar with CanadaHelps, I'll share a little bit about who we are and what we do. CanadaHelps is a charity helping charities. We provide charities with open access to our affordable online fundraising platform and training so they can better connect with the people who support them. And for donors, we offer a one-stop shop for donating and fundraising for any registered Canadian charity online. Since 2000, over 1 million Canadians have donated through CanadaHelps, and together we've raised over $500 million in donations. Recently, we launched our new peer-to-peer social fundraising solution, and that's what we'll be talking about today. So in this session, I'll be showing you how easy it is to launch and run your event with our powerful new peer-to-peer social fundraising solution, and I'll be sharing some tips for making your event a success, along with showing you a few real-life examples of charities that are already using our new peer-to-peer tools and they've launched successful campaigns. You can join the conversation online or share your thoughts and ideas with the rest of us by using the hashtag P2P Fundraising and tweeting at us at CharityLifeCA. At CharityLifeCA is our official CanadaHelps Twitter handle for all charity-related things. All right, let's get started. We'll start with the basics. So first, what is peer-to-peer social fundraising and what types of charities can benefit from it? Before I answer that question, we're going to take a quick poll to find out how many people here have participated in the planning and launch of a peer-to-peer social fundraising campaign in the past. So I'll just launch this poll here and you'll see it appear on your screen and you can go ahead and answer the question. Okay, I see the results coming in. Okay, awesome. So I see that 28% of the audience have participated or planned the launch of a P2P campaign. 63% have not, and 9% are not sure. So hopefully we'll have a little bit of information for everyone. I'll let you know what P2P is all about, show you some campaigns, and then I'll also show the people who have launched a campaign in the past, how easy it is to use the CanadaHelps fundraising solution. Okay, so in short, peer-to-peer social fundraising is a type of social fundraising where charity supporters fundraise for the cause by engaging with each other, their own friends and families, and coworkers, and such. Typically, the charity holds a fundraising event like a walk, run, swim, or similar thon event. Sometimes certain prerequisites are in place. So for example, someone may need to fundraise at least $100 to participate in the charity's annual run. The fundraisers ask their own personal networks to donate, and then they participate in the event. Often, there's some friendly competition involved amongst the fundraisers, but the great thing about a P2P event is that your charity can be as creative as you want with the event type. Charities may choose to allow both teams and individual fundraisers to participate, or just one or the other. Often, local businesses and like-minded organizations are willing to sponsor the event or contribute in some way. And the events themselves may be large with hundreds of participants or small with just a handful of people. According to the 2013 Millennial Impact Report, 64% of millennials, that's people born between 1980 and 2000, prefer to fundraise through walks, runs, or cycling events. Now I'm going to jump right in and show you 3 real-life examples of charities that have launched P2P campaigns using the new CanadaHelps peer-to-peer social fundraising solution. The first example I'll show you is an event called Tickle Swim 2015 by the Canadian Mental Health Association of Newfoundland. Right away, you can see that it's a clean design and all of the important elements jump out at you right away. This charity uploaded a beautiful header image and that really draws you in and makes you want to learn more. The header image is so important for generating interest, and that's why when you upload one to your P2P campaign page, it also displays in the invitation emails that you can send to your supporters using the built-in email tools. So I'll just show you an example of what the email might look like. So the header stays consistent throughout the emails and the pages. So really spend some time finding a good image that you can use because it's the first thing your supporters will see. If you choose not to display a header image, a subtle gray background will display instead, and your charity's logo will display on it, like in this example here. Now, if you haven't uploaded your charity's logo yet, you can upload one from the profile section in your charity admin account. Otherwise, a yellow ribbon will automatically display. So we'll move back to the Tickle Swim campaign. I just want to point out this prominent Donate Now button right here. Regardless of whether someone is accessing the page from mobile, desktop, or tablet, this will be one of the first things they see. All of the pages are mobile friendly and built according to e-commerce best practices to improve your conversion rate. And what I mean by that is the rate that potential donors that visit your pages actually complete the transaction. When you click the Donate Now button, it shoots you straight down to the donation flow where the donor can enter in the donation amount and complete the transaction. Okay, let's move back up the page for a minute. You can see that this charity included a really great description about what exactly the Tickle Swim is. They've written, the Tickle Swim for Mental Health is a 5 km swim across the Tickle from Bell Island to Portugal Cove, St. Philip's in support of CMHA and L's work in Newfoundland and Labrador. They've included the event details, registration deadline, and some information about the history of the event, and they also mention that registration requires signing and returning the liability release. At this point, I'll mention that you can ask your participants custom questions and include things like liability releases during the sign-up process. These are easy to set up, and I'll show you how to do that shortly. For the swim, they're hoping to raise $20,000, and they're almost halfway there. When you're setting up your charity's P2P page, you can choose to display your fundraising thermometer and goal, or not. It's up to you. Okay, so a rule of thumb when you're setting your fundraising goal is to aim to secure 30% of your total goal within the first 48 hours of your campaign launch. In other words, think about what you are realistically going to raise in the first 2 days and multiply that amount by about 3.5 to get a reasonable goal amount. To get a rough idea of how much you might be able to raise in the first 48 hours, you should be contacting your friends and family and closest supporters to get them to confirm that they'll be donating X amount to your charity. It's so important that as soon as you launch, you contact these people right away to let them know the campaign is live and that they'll help make a huge difference in getting the momentum going if they donate right away. Getting the momentum going in those first 48 hours is critical. Set a realistic fundraising goal because your fundraisers will of course be very happy if they're able to help you achieve it, or alternatively, they might feel deflated if they don't. Always remember that you're creating an experience for them. So hopefully it's an awesome one so that they can participate again next year. Two very important things for making your P2P campaign a success is that you're setting realistic fundraising goals and equipping your supporters with the tools and resources they need to be successful fundraisers. This can include anything from online fundraising tools to educational toolkits to motivational messages to sample tweets and Facebook messages. If the event is a success, not only is money raised for the cause, but the charity has had the opportunity to raise a memorable experience for all those involved. There are so many ways peer-to-peer social fundraising can benefit your charity, including giving you the opportunity to build stronger relationships, more word of mouth, higher engagement from supporters, and more. We'll go back to the Tickle Swim example, and I'll show you some of the fundraising pages of the participants that are fundraising. So on this page, you can see that people who want to actually participate in the event as opposed to solely donating can either search for a team to join, they can create a team, or they can join as an individual. You can enable or disable these options if you feel that you'd rather limit participants to people you personally invite, for example. Okay, if somebody clicks to create a team or join as a participant, they'll be taken to the sign up flow right here. We'll go back to the main charities page. Okay. Up to 5 of the top individual fundraisers and 5 of your top teams will display on your charity's campaign page, which is great for recognizing those who are doing really great and promoting some friendly competition. In this Tickle Swim campaign, you can see their top individual fundraisers and how much each person has raised so far. A list of top teams is not visible here because they don't have any teams participating. I'll show you how team pages look shortly. Okay, so let's take a look at an individual participant's page. We'll look at Shannon Fisher's. Shannon Fisher here, you can see that she's exceeded her fundraising goal and she still has 3 weeks remaining. So I do want to point out that your participants can set fundraising goals for themselves. In this case, Shannon probably feels amazing for reaching her goal, and it really does make a difference that people are setting realistic goals for themselves in terms of how they feel and how motivated they are at finishing what they set out to do. So when you're equipping your fundraisers with resources and education on being successful fundraisers, be sure to give them some tips on setting realistic goals. The participants can add photos and videos in the media carousel, which is available for use on every page, and I do highly recommend that you include lots of good quality photos and videos in your own media carousel. You can include an unlimited amount. What the participant pages have that the main charity campaign pages don't is a supporters wall, which you can see right here. So when a friend or family member donates to them, they can choose to publicly include a motivational message on the page and display how much they donated. If a person that's visiting the participants page wants to learn more, they can click the Learn More button at the top left-hand side, and they'll be directed to the charity's main landing page. Okay, let's move on for a second here. All right, so I just showed you how the individual participants' fundraiser pages look, and I'll quickly show you how the team pages look. We're now looking at the Grandparent Stroll campaign from Parent Support Services Society of BC. See, it's a beautiful color palette here. Okay, I'm going to read their description to you because I know some members in our audience are curious about how other charities describe and present their campaigns. Okay, let me just go back to their charity's landing page because we're actually on a team page. There we go. Okay, so their description. In BC, there are more than 11,000 children being raised full-time by their grandparents or other relatives. Their stories are varied, but many of the threads are the same: loss, isolation, grief, hardship, love, and determination. Grandparents raising children face complicated bureaucracies, legal, financial, and governmental, that are difficult and often expensive to navigate. Poverty is a serious risk. They receive little to no financial support and often spend what savings they might have on fighting for and supporting their grandkids. They lose friends, and seniors programming and housing rarely meets the needs of GRG families. The grandchildren are their priority, and these children need and deserve love, stability, and all the support possible to ensure they thrive. What is happening? On Grandparents' Day, Sunday, September 13th, Parent Support Society of BC will be recognizing these caregivers. Our first annual Grandparents' Day Stroll Walkathon will be a fun, lively family event to celebrate all grandparents and to raise funds to support the work we do with grandparent-led families and our parenting programs across BC. And then they go on to include exactly when it's taking place, where the person who's reading this can go for more information and who they can contact for more information. So in my opinion, their description is a very good one. So here's another tip that you should keep in mind when you're setting up your campaign. On this page, always try to answer the 5 W's: who, where, what, when, and why. Use this page to make the people who land on it want to either make a donation or sign up to participate in your event. We'll move down and click one of the teams so that you can see what the team pages look like. So we'll go back to Team Carol's here. Okay, so the team page, As a team, they can set a fundraising goal. Uh, they can include their description. They have a supporters wall. The team members, the individual team members are listed on the right-hand side here. If somebody's interested in joining the team, you can see the blue button on the right underneath the Donate Now button, Join Team. They've chosen to include suggested donation amounts. And anybody can do this. You can do this on your main charity landing page. Teams can add this on their pages, or individual participants can add it on theirs. It's always a great idea to include suggested donation amounts with the impact statements because it really helps to increase the level of giving. Okay, so you've now seen 2 examples, and I'll show you one more so you can see what works when launching a campaign. There are so many color palettes that you can choose from so that your charity, so that your pages suit your charity's brand. And that's, I'll show you this one here, Edmonton and Area Land Trust. It's a beautiful one, and they do an excellent job of answering the 5 W's on their page. And they've raised over $6,000 of their $10,000 goal so far. So take a look here. They've used their media carousel, added lots of beautiful photos. Okay. So I'm going to read their description to you, and I'm going to point out a few things along the way. Things that I think really do make a difference in conversion. The Edmonton and Area Land Trust has accepted a bequested parcel of land along Willow Creek in Leduc County. This property is really special, a beautiful creek, lots of wildlife, and past fossil excavation site. We need to inventory the plants and animals, order and install conservation signs, map trails to make this natural area available for foot access to the public, and create a conservation management plan to help protect the area. So here, they've clearly explained why they need the money. And we're seeing that more and more donors really want to know the impact of their donations. And they're more likely to give when they do. They go on to say, but we don't have the funds. We need your help in raising donations and this breathtaking conservation corridor to our network of accessible natural areas in the region so we can have all the opportunity to connect with nature. It is a mystery because we cannot release the exact location until we're able to complete our preliminary conservation work to ensure we can monitor and maintain the ecological values with funds raised. Now, look out for this call to action here. Make a donation today or start your own fundraising page to help us reach our goal. Thank you so much for your support. I really like how they're very clear and direct in telling the reader what they want the reader to do. They go on to say the top 4 fundraisers for Conserving the Mystery Corridor will be invited to attend an exclusive wildlife walk at Willow Creek. You don't want to miss out on the wildlife walk. It includes a glimpse at the dinosaur excavation site. So this charity has chosen to make their actual event an exclusive one to the 4 top fundraisers. A really great incentive to motivate people to raise as much as they can. Including incentives throughout your fundraiser is a great idea for keeping the momentum going and continuously encouraging your fundraisers to stay active. Lastly, they wrote, starting a fundraising page, we have some resources to help you get set up. Visit, and then they include the link. So this last part is so great, and it goes back to what we were saying earlier about the importance of equipping your fundraisers with the resources that they need to succeed. According to the 2015 Millennial Impact Report, millennials are more likely to give when their peers ask them to on a person-to-person level. In fact, 46% of employees said they were more likely to donate to a cause if a peer coworker asks them to. So when you're thinking of ways to motivate and inspire your millennial fundraisers, be sure to develop a workplace peer-to-peer campaign toolkit for millennial employees to raise resources from coworkers. If it applies to you, it's a great way to really motivate them. Get creative and brainstorm some ways that you can try to leverage peer influence. I'm actually just going to hop on their resources page and just keep in mind that this is something that they've set up on their own website. Okay, so this is the more resources section that they had been referring to on their charity P2P page, and then they link to their website. Okay, so first thing, they tell you that you can get started by setting up a fundraising page. Then they include the page header, and they include it right there so that teams and participants can download that same header and include it on their pages. Let's say they're promoting the campaign in emails or on social media. It's a beautiful header that anyone can use. They have fundraiser description and suggestions that you can download. They have tips for donating to your own page to help launch the fundraiser successfully. They've included an area where people can download more photos for the fundraising page. Let's say they don't have any photos that they can use. Well, they're providing them with photos that the teams and the individual participants can actually add to their own media carousels. Okay, and they go on to include other things like a frequently asked question section. So, I think this is key because obviously maybe you have not too many resources, maybe you're so busy doing other things and you have a ton of people participating in your event. A frequently asked questions page is a great place to have those questions where you can just direct your participants to so that you're not answering the same questions over and over again. Okay, great. So we'll move along from that. Going to jump over back to their campaign page here because I want to go back to the calls to action that are included on this page. So here, again, they have said, make a donation today or start your own fundraising page to help us reach our goal. That's a call to action. They speak directly to the reader and clearly state what they need the reader to do. The most prominent calls to action on this page are the buttons you see, such as the Donate Now button or the Join as a Team or Create a Team or Join as an Individual buttons. These are very prominent calls to action on the page. When you're promoting your P2P campaign, have a clear call to action in every communication, including your emails, social media posts, on your websites, etc. A call to action is a clear instruction to perform some kind of an action, such as donate now, read more on our blog, follow us on Twitter, download the toolkit, learn more. Calls to action are critical, and so I've included some tips here on using a call to action properly. Make it prominent and easy to spot. Have white space around it and place it in a button if it's the primary action you want them to perform, but don't clutter your communication up with buttons. Use links instead of buttons when it's a non-crucial action. Focus on only one call to action per email or communication. Use clear language that is persuasive and compelling. Use command verbs. Link directly to the page where you want them to perform the task. Clearly explain the benefits of completing the action in the content that's directly related to the button or the link. Keep all that in mind when you're communicating with your supporters, fundraisers, donors, volunteers, you name it. Okay, so we're going to take a pause. I'm going to do another poll here, and while you answer the questions, I'll take another sip of water. Okay, I'm interested in knowing how many of you are here because you're planning on launching a P2P campaign this year. So go ahead and take a second to answer the question. Okay, awesome. So it looks like 51% of people are definitely planning to launch one this year. 40% of people are not sure. And 9% of people are definitely saying, no, they're not launching one this year. Okay, great. I'm going to close that poll. Whether you're an animals charity, an arts charity, or one specializing in social services, almost any kind of charity can benefit from social fundraising. Even if you're a small charity with a very limited budget, you too can be creative and perhaps opt for a more intimate event with fewer participants. The key is to remember that the high priority should be placed on the experience you're creating for those that are involved, no matter how few. So I've shown you some awesome real-life examples of charities that have used our peer-to-peer social fundraising solution, and I'm going to show you just how fast and easy it is to set up a campaign page and use the neat tools available, like the built-in email, the setting up of custom questions, choosing your color theme, and more. Okay, so you can start by logging into your account, and if you don't have one, you'll want to go to CanadaHelps.org and go to the Compare Solutions section right here. Okay, and you'll want to sign up for a full fundraising account. And if you sign up for a full fundraising account, you'll have access to the peer-to-peer social fundraising solution. And if you want to learn more about the peer-to-peer social fundraising solution, you could go to peer-to-peer social fundraising solution right there. Okay, so you'll sign into your account. You'll go to My Charity. Okay, and then you want to go to P2P Campaigns. On this P2P Campaigns tab, you'll see all of the P2P campaigns you've set up. And these are all test ones that we've just used here as examples on CanadaHelps.org, but yours will display on this tab right here. Okay, so for example, this one, second annual walk raising money for a new kitchen. You can see main things like the date created, the start date, end date, goal amount, amount raised. If you click this button here, you can edit the campaign. If you click this button here, you can view the campaign. Okay, and if you click reports, you can see the reports. So let me go. Okay, this one has a $3 donation. Let's click reports. Okay, and see in the report section, you can see who the top 5 fundraisers are. You could download the full report for all of your fundraisers, who the top 5 teams are, 5 recent donations, and you can download the full reports for these. And the reports will include things like the person's name, email address, any answers to custom questions that you've asked, and things such as that, how much money they've raised. Okay, so we're going to go to create a new P2P campaign. And you start by entering your campaign URL. Okay, this is just, you could just describe your campaign. Let's just say, okay, our fake charity name is going to be A Better World, okay? And right below it tells you what kind of characters you can include. Okay, so A Better World. The language of your pages, you could select bilingual, English, or French. We'll select English. Okay, because our page, this page anyways, will only be offered in English. Okay, let's say A Better World. What's our campaign name going to be? Raising money for a new soup kitchen. Okay. The about text. You see, this is that description that we were talking about before. You want to try to answer the 5 W's. It's the same description that you see right here. Okay, I'm just going to copy and paste this to include in our test example. Okay. Close that. Okay. Summary English. So this is the description that appears at the bottom of the emails you send. So whatever you include in this box right here will actually appear at the bottom of the email that your team captains or your individual participants receive. Let's say you invite somebody to be a team captain. Well, you'll want to include a description in that summary box and it'll tell the person you're inviting a little bit more about your campaign. Okay, so you might want to include a portion of the description of your main description, whatever you think is appropriate and necessary. The idea is that you really want them to click that link over here to get started on fundraising, or to get started on maybe inviting other people to be a part of their team and creating their team captains page. Okay, so charity support email address. I'll just put in a fake email address here at CanadaHelps.org. So that's the email address that'll be included in select emails that are sent to team captains and participants, in case they need to contact somebody for support or ask a question. Okay, start date. We'll set the start date of our campaign for tomorrow, end date 31st of, I guess that's, oops. We go back here, 31st of August. Goal amount. So you put in your goal amount here. Okay, fund. So this is, you could create a new fund, or, in this case, I guess we want to raise money for a new soup kitchen. So we might add a new fund, or you could select a fund from what you already have, area of greatest need. Now, if you want to delete a fund, you actually can't do that from here. You have to go back to your main charity section and go to the funds section in your account. Okay, so team settings. This participants must join a team. You could click it or unclick it. If you click that the participants must join a team, then they won't have the option to join as an individual. Okay? So let's go back here. And access control. This is great because it gives you the flexibility and control that you want to run the campaign the way you want to run it. So you can choose that, okay, it's open to everyone and anyone can join the team, create a team, join as an individual participant. You can set it so that if somebody does want to join your fundraiser, you have to approve all the requests, or you can send all invitations to join. I guess that's if you want to be really strict with who's participating in your campaign. So we're just going to keep it as open to everyone. Tag type and tag value. This is great because it can be used in lots of different instances. For example, let's say we choose the tag type to be location because we know that there will be different teams based on location. So location, and then the tag value might be Brampton, Toronto, okay, Mississauga. There we go. And I might have an example to show you here, actually. No, not there. Okay, so you see they've set their tag type as location, and then they've added Ontario. I'm going to close that. Okay. So we'll save and continue editing this. Don't forget to save your work, and you'll see all these additional tabs showed up. Media library. This is where you'll want to add your photos. They have to be at least 400 pixels by 400 pixels. Okay, but no larger than 5,000 pixels by 5,000 pixels, and you can add JPEGs, PNGs, and GIFs. And you can add your video URLs right here from YouTube. Okay, page visuals is where you'll actually select the photos that you want to display in your media carousel, and you can upload your page header. Let me go to the desktop here. Okay, we'll find a page header. I've already saved it to my desktop. All right, so you'll upload your page header in the page visuals section. You'll choose your color palette, and you can view the samples to see what they'll look like if you select them, okay? So we'll just, we'll choose this pink and gray one right here. Okay, and the media carousel, that is this section over here on the page. And for the media carousel, you can just click add and you'll be selecting these from the media gallery. Okay, so we'll save and continue editing that. Moving on to donation presets. That is the suggested donation amounts that I had shown you earlier. Now I'm going to see if I can find an example for you. I think Team Carol had a good example for us. Here it is. These are the suggested donation amounts. Okay, so let's say $20, and then this is where you can add an impact statement if you want. Your donation of $20 what will your donation of $20 do? Okay, so let's put 30, 50. Now it doesn't matter if you add donation amounts. The person that's donating will always have the option to donate an alternative amount, whatever they want. You can add suggested donation amounts for monthly giving as well. Okay, so again, let's save and continue. Okay, teams. This is the fun part. Teams and participants. This is where you can invite people and message them and communicate with them. So you'll probably want to start by inviting a team captain, or 2 or 3. Okay, so it's just, okay, and that's all you do. And then you click send to send the invite. And there it is, it's been sent. It's that easy. If you click invited, you'll see all the people you've invited. And if you decide you want to withdraw someone's invitation, you can go ahead and click withdraw. Here you can see who's accepted, okay, who's pending, canceled. Okay, and once they have accepted, you can perform actions. So you can suspend someone, unsuspend someone, delete someone, send a message. You can send a message to the team captain of teams. It's a really great way to send updates and announcements and keep people motivated. Okay, and same with invite participants. Same idea. It's that easy. Custom sign up. This tab, extremely useful. Again, it's all about giving you the flexibility you need to launch a successful campaign. So custom sign up. There are, just think of it as maybe designing a survey question. So there are different options you can choose for the different answer types: text, waiver, single selection, multiple selection, and yes or no. So text might be, let's think of a question here. Why do you support our cause? Here you can select whether or not you want to make this question required. Okay, why do you support our cause? And you see it gives the text box. Okay, waiver, the name, okay, annual run liability release. This is where you can fill out that waiver information. Here's where you would put, the contract details. Okay, contract jargon. Okay, enter the statement of agreement to be displayed. Yes, I agree to the terms and conditions. Okay, these are all just examples. Required field, if it's a waiver, yeah, I would say you definitely want it to be required. And that's what it'll look like. And then they click if they agree to the terms and conditions. Okay, single selection. What t-shirt size do you wear? Okay. Small, large. Okay. They can only select one option. You see? Multiple selection. So whatever question you fill out, how did you hear about us? And they'll be able to select multiple answers. And then finally, yes or no answers. Okay. So it's really that easy. And at this point, once you've set up your custom sign-up questions, you've made your campaign pages beautiful, you've invited your teams and participants, you viewed it to make sure that you like it. Our suggested donation amounts right here. Yeah, once you've done that, I think you're probably ready to start promoting your campaign and sharing it on social. And social sharing is very easy. Everyone can share through the social icons that are on the header over here to the top right-hand side. So before you dive into creating your campaign pages, you'll want to start by considering the size, fundraising goal, budget, and type of event that you'll be launching. After you've covered these basic steps, you'll want to dive deeper into your planning and refine your event as you go and your plan. Your budget for your P2P event is an extremely important consideration. P2P events can be very expensive or inexpensive. When you're trying to decide what kind of an event to launch, there are some costs you need to be aware of even before selecting a type of event. And these costs might not immediately come to mind, but the little things really do add up. Okay, so location and venue costs, insurance. You may need insurance depending on your event or location type. Safety, first aid, and then security or police services may be required. Food and drinks, at least people should have access to water. Sound system, think about if you'll need a microphone or speakers so that if there's a crowd, they can hear you. Marketing and promotions, including advertising space and printing costs, which can be expensive. Of course, a lot of promotion can be done online these days. Permits, if applicable, portable toilets, miscellaneous items like tables and chairs. Maybe you'll need t-shirts, hats, race numbers, or other gear. The costs can really add up, but of course there are plenty of things that you can do to stretch your budget, like asking your participants to use face paint instead of providing them with t-shirts. You can ask your supporters to bring a dish and host a big potluck for lunch. And when it comes to venues, consider if permits are required. For example, a cycling event may require policing to manage traffic, whereas a bowl-a-thon only requires a venue. Invest in only what matters. When you choose to use the CanadaHelps P2P tool in your account, you only ever pay a low transaction fee of 4.9%, and this includes all credit card costs. Of course, there are never any upfront fees or a set of fees or hidden costs. The CanadaHelps P2P solution also includes automatic tax receipting, and so you'll save lots of time and staff hours. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our presentation. I encourage you to sign in to your CanadaHelps account if you have one and play around with the P2P tool. It's really the best way to learn how to use it. And if you do have a CanadaHelps charity account, but you can't find the P2P tab in your dashboard, it could be because you need to upgrade your CanadaHelps charity account. And that can be done for free and very easily by clicking the link at the bottom of your Home tab in your charity admin account. Okay, so I do see some questions coming in, and I'll take some time to answer some of those. If you have any questions, please take some time to answer them into the questions log on your screen, and I'll do my very best to get to as many of them as I can. But if I can't get to them all today, I'll get back to you via email with the answer to your question. All right, so I'm just going to take a second to pull up these questions. I have a question from Julie. Is this set up only through the charity page, or can individuals create their own P2P? Okay, Julie. Um, as a charity, to use the P2P tool that I just showed you, where you have the main campaign page and people can join teams and join as individual fundraisers, you have to have your charity account to do that, your CanadaHelps charity account. Now, if somebody wants to just launch a fundraising page, they can do that, and that's a little bit different, and I'll show you where they can do that. So just go to CanadaHelps.org, okay, and they can go to fundraise, and they can go to create a darn. Okay, maybe if I go like this. Okay, I'm just going to have to log out of my charity account here because charity accounts do not have access to this. Okay, create a fundraiser, and then the person will be prompted to sign in, and they'll be able to create a fundraising page. Okay, Shelly asks, I'm not sure if we have a full fundraising charity account. If we don't, does this come with a cost? Shelly, if you just have a charity profile account and you want to upgrade to a full fundraising account, you can certainly do so at no extra cost. You just log into your the account that you do have, and you go to the main tab. If you don't see a tab called P2P Campaigns, then you know you don't have a full fundraising account. So in that case, you could either just get in touch with us or go to the Home tab in your charity account and scroll to the bottom, and you'll see the option to upgrade. Okay, Joanne is asking, what is the fee for using the P2P fundraising tool? Okay, so Joanne, the fee is 4.9. It's a 4.9% transaction fee, and that includes all credit card costs, and there aren't any additional fees or anything like that. There are no setup fees or hidden fees or monthly costs or maintenance fees. It's just a 4.9% transaction fee. Okay, I have a question from Evan. Will this deck be available online? And yes, it will. I'll post it within 48 hours, and I'll post the recording, and I will send an email to everyone who registered for this webinar, and you'll be able to watch it on demand or share it with whoever you want. Okay, I have a question from Jane. Can a campaign be private, so not seen by the public, and seen or accessed only by those provided with the appropriate link? Sign up, donate, etc. Okay, so Jane, there's no way to password protect the pages so that if someone lands on that link, somehow, they have to enter in a password to see the page or anything like that. The page is public. That said, in the options settings, when you're setting up your campaign, you can select the option where you only invite people to join your campaign. So not any random person would be able to join a team or create a team or join as an individual participant. But if, let's say, you launch your campaign and someone happens to get the link somehow, they will be able to see the page. Okay, Viviana asks, is it necessary to have an event, or could it be merely an online fundraising campaign? Viviana, I think it could just be an online fundraising campaign. The P2P tool is very versatile in that you actually don't need to have an actual event for you to use it. Yeah, I think, let's say you want to raise money for a specific fund and you have your supporters who want to support that and want to ask their friends and their networks to donate to your cause. There's no reason why they can't do that, or why you can't just use the P2P tool for that reason. In the description, you would just fill out, probably why you're asking for the money, what you'll do with the money, why it's important. You don't have to say, okay, and in September we're going to have a run or anything like that. Okay, so in the section where you're able to invite captains, teams, individuals, are you able to see what the invite will say before you send? to preview the email. Julie, there's no link to click to see the sample. It's a basic message. I could show you what it says. So your charity name would appear here where it says CanadaHelps. So it would have your charity name, would like to invite you to be a team captain, or the email might be different depending on if you're asking them to be a participant. So it's a basic message, but you can go ahead and invite yourself as a test and just to see what the email looks like with your banner, and see how that looks to make sure that you're happy with it. It's 3 o'clock now. I'll be happy to answer the rest of the questions that I didn't get to. So if you do have any questions, please do get in touch with us at Charity Life CA or charitylife@CanadaHelps.org, and I will be happy to answer your questions. And in terms of the question I didn't get to today, I think I'll be able to get to them probably within the next 40 hours or so. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us today and for learning about this peer-to-peer social fundraising solution. Have a really great day.